You can't read it?
It's not as clear.
It's nice.
I just want to look at one, just this one little section here, and then, so can we focus on that one little section there? Just one thing I want to do now. I'm going to increase the size of the screen. I'm going to do that. Alright, so this is a rubric, right? It's a rubric for essay, right? And here is so you know you have probably the introduction, the research that was done on the essay, the conclusion, and probably something about grammar. But right here, this is telling you about the criteria for getting, the total mark is 10 marks, for getting 8 or 10 marks. Now, something is wrong with that. I want you to look to see if you can tell me what is wrong with it. What do you think is wrong with that? I don't want
Oh, there are the other parts for the other part of the essay. So this part is just
for the research part. So you know how you do an essay, you do the introduction, the research, the probably conclusion, the grammar section. This one is just for the research that you do. Don't think anything. All right, I'm gonna carry it over some more from you. It's the same part for it's the same thing, but it's this bigger section, the end section. Alright, so since you can't, I now
Is something being printed or something?
Yes, Miss Antina?
Yeah.
I'm hearing like a noise in the background.
Yes, we're trying to fix that right now. The noise in the background. Okay, so can you say what is wrong with it? And two things about rubric that we need to consider. The rubric should measure what it is set out to measure. So remember the objective that we've taught, those are the objectives that the rubric should test.
Okay.
Following that? But also look at the scoring, the points. From 0 to 4, if they fall into this here, you know, if they have all of this. They get the 5 or 7 marks if they have all of this. Is something wrong with that? Look at this here. If you have this, I can decide to give it a 0 or 4. Look, are you following what I'm saying, everybody? Miss Antiana, are you following what I'm pointing out? out? You're not sure? Alright, let me just simply say, when you look at the points, if I have all of this, I should get 0 to 4 marks. That's very subjective. Because I know within myself need to be able to determine what is going to get 0, what's going to get 1, what's going to get 2, what's going to get 3, and what's going to get 4. Agree with me?
Yes.
What are you agreeing with, Aaron? What are you agreeing with?
You know what I'm saying? You're saying that with the zeros, because the point system seems like it's way off. And they're saying that if you have certain information in that particular area, you either get 0 or any number, but you're not going to, it should be a bit more detailed. Point system anyway.
Alright, good. So I'm saying the point system there makes something wrong with cause something to be wrong with the rubric. The rubric should be more specific. So I should know exactly why I get 1 mark, why I get 2 marks, why I get 3 marks, why I get 4 marks. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So I don't have to, because you and somebody else might have the same thing or around the same thing. But because rubric is not specific, I can give it 3 marks and somebody else may take it up and give it 0. Are we following that?
Yes.
So I'm saying that this rubric is not a good rubric because it leaves room for subjectivity. It's going to be based on my opinion.
Yeah.
Are we clear with that?
Yeah.
So when we design our rubrics, I showed that to you because when we design our rubrics, we can design our rubrics, but when we design our rubrics, we need to have exact criteria. So if I'm going to do a 3-point rubric, I'm going to verbally do a 3-point rubric. So for 3 marks, understand the concept completely. Is that clear? That's very clear.
Yes.
I can look at the concept completely. 2 marks, understand some aspect of the concept. Are we clear?
Yeah.
That's some can be relatively known, but I cannot determine just some of it, and I give you 2 marks. 1 mark if you don't show any understanding, because once you give a performance task, you can't give 0.
Right.
Are we clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to be very distinctive in how we assign our marks. We cannot leave any room for subjectivity, because that room can create a lot of problems. Because let's say I'm going through, and each time you have this criteria, I give you the lowest mark. Like a 5 and an 8 and a 0. Or each time somebody has this criteria, another person has to give the highest mark. You get a big difference in the grade. Agreed?
Yeah.
Alright, are you following? Alright, so you understand why this rubric is not a good one. Alright, so I just use this to show you that this rubric is not a good rubric. Alright, this rubric, even though it's a little bit fine, but I'll take some more.
The one that she poses is in the rubrics. This one may be out. This one may be out. Because it gives you specific.
Alright, even though it might be hard to read, we'll take down some more. Now, if you notice here with this rubric, you might not be able to read the words, but the grades are, so for this criteria you get 4 marks, for this criteria 3 marks, for this 2 marks, and for this 1. So it's very specific. You tell you what to get a 4, the 3, the 2, the 1, 4. So it's a better rubric. Are we clear with that?
Yeah.
Good. Crystal, do you understand?
Well, what I can see, which I can't see much, but I think so.
Alright, tell me in your own words what you understand. I'm not expecting you to be able to to read the things.
Oh, okay, no, it's, what you're saying is that for each point system, there's a specific,
Criteria.
it's a criteria that you laid out, or you outline exactly what you need to accomplish in order to get that point value.
Okay. So what about the first one? What was I saying with the first one?
I can't remember. You mean the first one that we said was too ambiguous because it literally said like 0 to 4, which was basically too broad to say. It should have been more specific as to how the point values, what certain things were.
Okay, good. Crescentiana, can you explain to me? Tell me your own words, what you're following so far.
Okay, well, for the first one that you showed us, because of the a range was given for each objective, for the rubric for the objective. So you're saying that it needs to be a little bit more specific as to when is it going to be a 0, then it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Because if you leave it up to the marker, then it's going to be based on my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So what about this one? What am I now saying about this one?
But this one is better because because it has specific criteria for each value.
Okay, good. That's it. Very good. I'm following that. Guys. All right. So most times we don't need to be able to I did that with you because you're asked to do a rubric or a checklist. Most people don't need to be able to design a rubric from scratch. You can go online and get a rubric. You know that, right? Just look for a sample rubric for marking something. You can go online and look for different rubrics. But what is important? What is important is that we need to know that the rubric should be fair. Are we clear?
Yes.
Alright, so what is important? Two things. The rubric needs to be fair. So it doesn't leave room for subjectivity or for my own opinion. And the next thing, it should measure what it sets out to measure. Excuse me. Sorry. So, as I was saying, it must be fair and it must measure what it's supposed to measure. Are we clear with that? So if you want, you can take a rubric from the internet and can tweak it if you want. Sometimes you don't need to build one from scratch. Okay, the next thing, writing evaluation.
We cannot see you.
Can I see me or the board?
All the boards is like anybody.
Can I see the board now?
No.
No?
It's a black screen.
It's a black, she's screen of black. Any love?
No. Still black.
Still black. Crescentiana, can you see the board? Crescentiana, can you see the board?
A black screen as well.
Black. Are you still seeing a black screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Because we're seeing the board.
Yeah, I'm seeing everything right here.
Anybody else can help?
Also says that on the side, so there is something.
So, but it couldn't have been on their side because it's both of them. St. Lucia's not seeing either, and Bermuda, so it couldn't have been their side. Because probably if it's for their side, with only one person. But for both of them, it must be on one side.
Shall we sign off and sign back on, or?
Okay, you want to try that?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
okay. Oh, we got it now.
Okay.
Is Antenna, can you see the board also?
Yeah.
What is that?
It says Lucia, the other group. I need to see now, the other group.
We can see just blue today.
I need to get to see that.
That's good.
Their camera.
Went back to the black screen.
Going back to the black screen.
I don't know.
That's next door.
Their camera. I'm only seeing one, that's Bermuda. And I'm on their camera. See there? Their camera.
Can I ask them to call back? Bermuda?
Not just the cover.
Bermuda.
You want us to call back?
Yes, Bermuda.
Okay.
France.
Now we can see you.
Well,
Remember the one? Maybe like, so we help me. Can I turn it on? Thank you. Right.
Man, start the name from the now. I covered before. No,
We're good now? Alright, I think we're good now. Good. So can we focus on the board?
Yes, we can see now.
Alright, so what we're looking at is right evaluation. Do you know what that is?
To evaluate something.
Just give us critique.
Yes, it's like a critique, you're critiquing the lesson. So after you've done teaching the lesson, then you want to critique the lesson. That's called an evaluation. The other one is assessment.
Like how was the class?
Yeah.
Students response.
So it's like you're reflecting on the lesson, right? It's like a reflection. So let's reflect to learn, but you reflect to learn too. Because you're able to determine, the good part of the lesson, the bad part of the objective were met, what areas need improvement, what are the students' reactions, your thinking. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Bermuda? It's not a bit noisy. Can I say please? Thank you very much. Alright, so what we're doing now, we're learning how to write evaluation. Now, just like when you're doing I won't use the word cleaner because what was going on. But we as teachers, we have to do what is called reflective practice. What do you think I mean by that?
What kind of practice?
Reflective practice.
You
You
reflect
don't know what we taught?
Okay, one person, you all don't trip over yourself to answer no. One person.
Reflecting on what you taught or how you taught it.
Yes, that's it. So that's why the evaluation here is important. We have to be able, as a teacher, we have to be able to step back after we've done with the lesson, to step back and to look at it. Look at the critical area. So we need to look at the students. So you're going to look at that one thing you need to reflect. The students, how they react, their attitude toward the lesson, all of that is important. Some of you can have some of their responses. So you need to talk about the students, their reaction. You need to talk about the teacher. So as a teacher, as you're teaching a lesson, what do you observe? What are some of the things that you're observing while you're teaching?
Students' behavior.
Yes, it could be that. What are some of the things you're thinking? You know? All of that is important. So it's a reflective thing you have. Yes?
Do I sound repetitive, like, or monotone, like, am I talking
Exactly. Are my instructions clear? Am I clear in explaining what I need to just, am I saying what I want to say? Is it coming, you know? Am I giving the right impression? So you have to reflect, you have to look at the students. What do you observe? What do you see? And not only what you observe, what conclusions can you draw from what you've observed? And you think about yourself. How do you think, you feel, your actions in the classroom setting? And the next thing you need to look at is the let me not say teaching and learning. Let me say the lesson itself. So you look at the students, so we understand what we're looking for, their attitude, their, you know, how they respond, all of that, ourselves. And we look at the lesson. So what are some of the things we're going to look at in the lesson? We're going to look at the activities that we give. Was it appropriate? Was it challenging them? Was it too easy? Or were they challenging? Were they too challenging? What about our teaching method? Is it all about me, teacher-centered, where I'm the only one talking and nobody else doing anything? So I'm just there putting out information. So all of that that's important. If you look at the activities, your assessment, when you give your assessment, do you think was appropriate? What areas need improvement? That is important. So, your evaluation, in your lesson, you can talk about what you think went good in a lesson, what never went so well, and what need improvement. Those are important for evaluating your lesson. What went well, what didn't go well, and what needs improvement, and how would you improve it? So you also need to figure out the objectives. Were the objectives met? How do I, so it's not all the objectives were met, but how do I know for sure that the objectives were met? So I see students doing this all the time. When I'm going practicum, objectives were met. So I'm like, okay, what evidence do you have of this? So we can't just make sweeping statements. We have to provide the evidence. If you're going to say objectives were met, why do you say this? If you're going to say that only half the objectives were met, why do you say this? If you say that this was good, why was it so good? It's not, oh, the introductory activity was good. Full stop. I don't know for a fact, but why do you say introductory activity was good? If you say the first activity that I gave wasn't so good, why wasn't it good? Maybe because it was too easy, maybe because it was too challenging, something why it wasn't so good. Maybe the students were bored, or the students were supposed to carry something and they didn't carry it, or I don't know, whatever. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do now is to stop and take 5 minutes to kind of think back on a lesson that you've done. And I want you to attempt to write down an evaluation. Stop, think back on the lesson that you've done, and I want you to attempt to write an evaluation. I know that it might not be as thorough as if you had just taught the lesson, but I still want you to attempt to write one, so you can have a feel of what I'm expecting. Or what a good evaluation should look like. Because remember, your evaluation should do what? Inform what you're going to do the next time. The next time you have the class. So you have to be very good at reflecting. Here.
This one.
Just like what you can remember. I know that you won't be able to remember everything because ideally an evaluation should be done right after the lesson. So if you're done just one lesson, and the evaluation is done for each lesson. So you remember if you do an evaluation, that's what you're going to use to start the next day lesson. Because if the objectives weren't met, you need to do something now to ensure that there are no, because what's the sense of moving on to something else? So it should be something that's done on a daily basis. And so we don't do it on a daily basis. We just do something because of protocol. Not because it makes sense. But these things should make sense.
Yes.
They should make sense. It should inform the decision for the next day and how we're going to teach the next day.
Well, so definitely call for so you practice stuff for us. We have been that for now we're going to do
I thought that's yeah, let's do this one actually. At the start. No, she said make sure read it, but make sure.
Yes. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's the philosophy. Yeah, but it's true. Chantel had more some of the you don't want to have stuff for boards. Say something when you for boards. Yes, yes, yes. No, busy, but you. It's small, executive, some people decide to do it. Honestly, executive, it's very hard. It's something else. It's kind of big. And worry. It's not even very hard. What do you need? Words shall be the verbs that it's funny how it is. Yeah. Like you can't have as big as end up with like say the good. I started to look. It might be like the grandma. It is. Yeah, because I came on a summer and she gave me the same grades. And I went to ed school. I love sitting up like this for me. Studying like 82 months. I don't know what says here. She got some protein, he does something here. Every protein, every house is mom's doing it too. Yeah, the protein field is something. He's like, yeah, but you don't get actually big locations. You didn't. That's what you said. Eat something. I said, "Stay is cute." And I said, "That's not cute. It's just get that out." Trying to do it. What are you saying? That's good. Oh, yeah. Am I doing They come. They come. Yes, such and such. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and
Oh, you don't have to write everything, but just what's one thing that you learn. And I guess if you learn from some person who's going to be can you do in your lessons are open, check here, oh, yeah, still working?
Getting crashing.
Tatiana, you finished?
Yeah.
Bermuda, still working?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Saturday.
Okay, give us some more time.
this is the last one. I just put some. We have to pick all of that. It's fine. So this is so that you have this confidence. What is anything else to do?
That's what I'm doing. That'd be everything. And then, yeah, basically, actually, just go on some. That's the word.
You have to get it.
Yes,
Children. I got it. That's my age. We get you. You guys it's not gonna he said it's okay.
Alright, I think we're ready to go now.
Yeah.
Can I start with Bermuda?
Sure.
Who wants to go first, Crystal? Are you okay with going first?
Okay, but sorry. Yes.
Well, I'm not, because I'm not a school teacher, I did something that I had to do a lesson plan for a vacation Bible school. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Well, I had an age group between 4 to 6. Now, I'm not experienced with very young kids, so the first night that I had the lesson, my lesson plan was very wordy, meaning that I was doing more talking, and I noticed that the children, their interaction with me, they basically weren't paying attention to me because children in that age group need more activity to understand concepts. So basically, the first day was pretty much like we could cancel it out because they didn't learn anything. So the second day, I incorporated more activity in their learning versus me speaking. So it was more of them doing things, and because of that, they learned more. They were able to learn that concept that we were teaching that day.
Okay. But do you notice that basically what a teacher should do is to facilitate learning? Because students or children, they're not empty vessels waiting to be filled. They have things, they know things. It's just for you to know how to do what? To pull some of them out of them and provide activities and opportunities for them to learn new things. So that's what learning is all about, teaching and learning is all about. Who wants to go next? Rosina?
Okay, and I had the same kind of scenario, but I usually work with teenagers, And so in my case, I usually try to identify the student who is the most fidgety amongst the students, and I try to use that individual to help out so that they can be seen like they're in charge. Because usually the fidgety person usually, or they usually try to be a little bit bossy, I guess.
Oh.
And so I try to use their character to allow them to feel free that they are actually doing something where they're in charge.
Good.
And so, so give them that person something to do. Then I try to also identify people who may be a little bit distracted in the class. So I try to smile a little bit more to those individuals because they might have little issues that they might have to address before they came there. So I might spend a little bit more time smiling to the individuals. And then also, then after we get the lesson started and everyone's kind of in sync and trying to keep everybody in sync anyway, then I try to get feedback from what I said. So after I said something, I try to get feedback from them as how they understand. So maybe I might say, just ask them a question about what I just concept or whatever I'm trying to teach, to get them to give me back feedback to see if they've actually picked up what I was trying to get across to them.
Okay, well done. Rick, you're next.
I've never done a lesson plan. The closest I've done would be tutoring somebody one-on-one.
Could you start again? I didn't hear the first thing you said.
I have never done a lesson plan.
You haven't done a lesson plan?
And I'm on a screen doing that.
All right, no problem. I hear you. I'll get to you now. Yes, Rick, I'm hearing you better now.
Okay, I wouldn't know where to start because I've never done a lesson.
So what do you do with the tutorial when you do that person?
We do fractions,
Yeah, but what do they do? What do they do that? Sometimes they don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, sometimes it's a
Like
student.
how do you act if they say?
Okay, so Rick, you want to think about that some more?
All right.
Arantas, do you want to go now?
Sure. Being that I have worked in the school system, I have had to substitute for some teachers in the classroom. And a lot of the kids I actually have worked with, I've seen the ages of 6, maybe 5 to 8, 5 to 8. A lot of times I find kids at that age are very, I wouldn't say needy, very, very needy. And especially being a male in the profession, they're always looking to be right up underneath you. So I had an activity at one time, a math activity with a group of kids. And it was working out fine. Like, they were doing everything according to plan. But I allowed the activity to go too long and got distracted. And I was like, we're going to lose our focus.
Sorry to go get short, but I'm being bumped off from the room because a conference is scheduled here. So I'm gonna have to be, because we finish in half an hour, right?
Okay, all right. So let me. Okay, so Arantas, can I cut it for a while because she has to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to share? I need to talk. I need to do some housekeeping before you guys go. All right. So reading topics. You guys we're supposed to be teaching next week. Do you want to tell me now which topic you're comfortable with?
Okay, I was thinking of not Monday coming?
No.
Okay.
Are you going to have an assignment due this weekend? Yeah. How much is Saturday morning?
Morning.
Alright, so even to the end of Saturday. But
Saturday night.
Huh?
Saturday night.
Alright, no problem, that's fine.
Okay.
Alright, have a good one. Did you want to quickly share your thing before you go?
Okay, let me just read it quickly. The classroom was organized and neat since it was a morning class, which made the setting conducive. Students were fresh yet energized and seemed enlightened by the use of the algebraic tiles. The fluorescent colors seemed to have appealed to them, although some students found the use of the tiles redundant since they are able to work the questions mentally or based on algorithms. The tiles assisted in reaching certain students who have had problems in previous tasks. Their understanding was evident based on their eagerness to provide the simplified version of the expressions placed on the board. The tiles assisted in reducing the careless mistakes or misconceptions the students developed. The responses to the 5 assessment questions.
So you're saying the tile used to prevent all the misconception. You know what you could do there to make it nicely? For example, da 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 da.
Okay.
Yes. All right. You may continue. Sorry, I needed to cut you there.
Alright. The responses to the 5 assessment questions were clear indicators of that conclusion. Teacher was satisfied with the student participation and felt sufficiently confident that the objective to clarify misconceptions by simplifying expressions was met.
Okay. All right. Good job.
Okay.
So I'll see you on Monday.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, good night.
All right. Have a good one.
Alright.
All right. You may go. Oranges. No. I'm sorry about that. I hope you don't.
That's all right.
Now we can't see you.
Oh, jeez.
I can't see that.
I don't think
We can't see you.
I can't see you either.
You can't.
Ask them to
Oh,
call.
yeah.
So we call it back?
You want us to call back?
Yes, please. Which topic do you want to do? Oh, you get to choose last because you guys want to hear the equation given a certain area for the coordinates and based on the percentage any kind of equations. You can determine how.
Hello, can you see us?
No.
I can't see you.
Try one more time.
Please remember, when it's the Monday of the third week, we have the teaching.
That's what I just properly.
Oh, not really. I won't be bringing your attire. I'm getting on what you're doing. See how much you learn from the scores about teaching.